And hello everybody, welcome to the Mazu. It's Tuesday night, it's time for Star Trek Adventures on the Mazu with Constellation. Hi, hope you're doing fine. It's Tuesday, it's raining and it's thundering, so if you hear noise outside, we're just going to say that we're like flying through a spatial anomaly.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense, right?
Space thunder.
Space thunder.
The Thunder Nebula.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Because sound travels through space, as we all know.
Absolutely.
They're just doing maintenance
But
of the warp
vibrations
missiles.
would create sound within the ship.
Yes,
so
exactly.
As long as we're not hearing it at external shots.
That's you're right.
Yeah, I guess so. Or we could just have some like weird thing happen and like actual weather appears within the Mazu itself.
There you go.
There could be clouds,
There you go.
lightning,
Somebody's just
thunder.
watching a movie really loudly in the holodeck.
Yes. Wait, what holodeck?
Is
We
it not a
got
holodeck?
one.
You don't have a
Too
holodeck.
small.
Man, I picked the wrong ship.
This is ship. No, it's not true. This ship's awesome. Hi, everybody. Welcome.
Hello.
Let's see. Let's get all this stuff out of the way because we've got stuff to do. First thing, we've got a light crew today. There's only going to be 4. Lauren and Kate could not be here, so it's going to be a light crew today, but that's okay. They'll be back. Don't worry your little head about nothing. It's all going to be fine. What was that look for?
I couldn't remember my Twitch login.
Oh, okay.
So that was my, hey, I just did it, but you were talking. Sorry.
I would like to make a request after that diatribe that your next admiral have that kind of Southern Gothic kind
Should
of.
we do that? Yeah.
Everything's gonna be
Everything's
fine.
gonna be fine.
You just fly that Mazu ship, it'll be back.
We'll take care of the ramen over here.
I had
Yeah, exactly.
in Estland, I had a big, powerful wizard. His name was Cusio Duke.
Nice.
And by Joe, he's like, hey, now, y'all just need to relax some over there. It's like, are you a wizard? Yeah, I'm a very powerful wizard. And I will blow you away with a fireball.
I need to wave away my vapors with my mage hand.
Anyway, hey, let's talk about Star Trek because it's time. First of all, for those of you that are hanging out, thanks for being here. That's the most important thing is that you're here, you're hanging out. Take a second to go share on the social medias. Be like, hey, go watch this show with these people and get in the chat and type things and chat with all the stuff. But tell your friends and everything like that. Do your social media stuff and get people to watch because we like it when people watch the show. It's fun. It's more fun that way, especially when you guys are chatting because I like to look at the chat in the distance and things like that. And I think that you guys have chat up a lot as well.
We do.
We'll chat back and forth, basically, is what we're saying. Interact with us.
And Kate's not here today, so it will be me commenting on my own name.
Yes, it won't be Kate.
She will
like
not be
reaching over
snatching the phone out of my hand and
Nope.
commenting under my name for me.
So that's a thing that happens.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty frequently and usually to hilarious effect.
I've had to clarify many points. It's,
Didn't say that.
There have been several times when it's
I
like,
said.
oh, Jordan, why are you being so argument? Oh,
Oh, that's Kate. Got it. Okay. While you're here, you're doing the social thing. We've bantered enough, so you've had a chance to do that. That's awesome. If you're not already here on Twitch, make sure you follow us on Twitch. If you really like it, go ahead and sub. You can do a little sub here on Twitch. If you're following us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe on YouTube so you can see all the archives of these on YouTube as well. Do all this stuff. If you really like what we're doing and you want to support things, if you look down in the links down below there, the doobly-doo links, there are places to go to our store. There are places to go to our Patreon, where you can become a patron at patreon.com/Heroes of Awesome. Or if you really like it, you can just be like, here's $1 for your trouble, and we'll be like, thanks, we appreciate that $1 for our trouble. But ultimately, the main thing is that you're here, having fun, and you're doing all that stuff. So keep being here, having fun, and talking to us, because that's the best part of it all.
Excuse me.
Bless you. Quick introductions, in case you didn't know, my name is Mark. I will be the GM, the Game Master, the Master of Ceremonies, if you will. Over here to my left and at the top of the screen, we've got Barrett and Heath. Oh, that's me. Over here and right in the bottom of the screen, we've got Cade. And it's kind of weird, I'm a little confused, but Cade, I just called you Cade.
it's all right. I'll take it.
We've got Jordan and Cindy. And it's weird because Cindy's normally over here at the top, up here at the top.
yeah, this is a weird side.
It's a weird, yeah.
It'd probably be weird if 3 of us
Also,
go over here.
Welcome to the lower
which is very strange.
I think we should just put all 4 of us on one side tonight. Just to make
Oh,
it
that would
extra
have been
awkward.
better.
Yeah.
Oh, why didn't I do that
Squeeze
instead?
us all in here.
Oh, would have been totally better. But we figured since it would be kind of weird to have 3 on one side. So we're mixing it up a little bit just to keep things a little more even. How does it feel having the double room, huh?
It's nice.
Oh, nice. I could get out and go to the bathroom easily if I wanted
You
to.
could.
Yeah, he doesn't have to wait for me to
Right.
We could put on a little puppet show.
I think
We could do that anytime. couldn't
Yeah,
we?
but like in
Oh,
the
you
middle.
know,
You guys
Like in the
have
middle, you
space,
could actually
yeah.
be like a
Like, actually,
character.
we could look like we're
God.
controlling
So-
him. Like we're,
There you go.
Oh my God, that would be great. Yes, Cindy,
It
reach
just
your hands
looks
up really high.
Hang on.
It would help if we got down under the
Yeah.
table, I think.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
There you go. Now,
Oh, I
Barrett,
see.
put your hand
Hold
in
on,
there.
there we go.
No,
No,
be
no.
a puppet. No, down. Put your
I
hands
gotta
down.
try to come over here and be
Left arm.
Where are we
hands.
going?
Left arm, Barrett.
This is hard.
good.
Now you guys got it. You guys got it working right there.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're doing.
Now you see what we're doing. Okay.
I was like, am I a puppet? That's not a puppet.
Good times,
see it
huh? Before we get started, do you have anything they want to pimp out? Any shows or any projects they are working on? I bet you say something about Jen Brown Plays.
Yes, my wife Jen Brown is famous. So go watch her play video games on twitch.tv / Jen Brown Plays. Wednesday nights at 8:30 Central Standard Time and Sundays around 2, maybe 3, depending on what we're doing right at that day. And that's it.
I'm really thinking that at some point in my life, I'm going to get you a shirt that says my wife is famous.
My wife's famous. Well, I don't know how else to like pitch it to people. It's like, why does your wife do a Twitch stream? Because she's minorly famous.
Well, lots
but
of
not
people
for
do
Twitch,
Twitch
but
streams.
not,
Yeah.
for, not for Twitch. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, if she was, I don't know. We wouldn't do it if she was just, if she hadn't
But that's like,
gotten some
I
level
think that's
of fame.
like 95% of Twitch is not
I
famous.
know.
I know it
famous.
is. I know it is.
That's what sets him apart.
Right,
From,
it's
That's true.
minorly famous.
It's true. Oh well.
There's a
Jim Brown
built-in
Plays.
fan base.
It's true.
Jim Brown Plays, twitch.tv / Jim Brown Plays. Anybody else got anything they want to pimp out?
Well, since Kate's not here, I'll go ahead and say that the next Testify is going to be on October 24th. So if you're in Austin, Texas and enjoy storytelling, you should come and see it because it's awesome.
And if you aren't in Austin, Texas, and you like storytelling, drive here.
Yeah.
It's only a few hours away from wherever you are, right?
Yep.
Or watch Jim Brown Plays.
Or watch Jim Brown Plays.
We'll tell you a story.
For people who aren't familiar with the geography of Texas, yeah, they'll just assume that everything in Texas is just a quick jump.
Just a quick drive.
Yeah.
Just a quick drive.
As long as you are anywhere in Central Texas,
Anywhere
Austin's
in-
only a few hours away.
Yep, that's it. If you're in San Antonio, that's pretty much it. Yeah, pretty much it. San Antonio, that's just a few hours away. Because what? Houston's 3,
Houston's like 3.5.
and then
Dallas
Dallas
is
is 3.5.
three.
Depending on which side of
Depending on
Houston, DFW again, depending on which
Dallas
side.
only takes me about
Yeah.
3
to 5.
these days.
Really?
And I drive a speed limit. I'm not even a speedy guy.
Oh wow, that's weird.
It's only about 3.
They've
Okay,
really,
alright.
they've improved that.
Have they finally finished 35? Okay.
Well,
No.
Well-
Have any cause to drive
Now
to Dallas.
let's talk El Paso for a minute.
Yeah.
If
Let's.
you want to have like a 6 to
Like-
8 hour drive there, you can just go out to El Paso.
I don't know if I could generate a minute's worth of conversation about El Paso.
Does it in a minute?
Apologies
means-
to any of our
Sorry,
El Paso
El
fans.
it's Spanish for the Paso.
It's true.
Physics guy is in the wrong
Yeah.
place. The wrong place. That's okay. Physics guy, shoot me a message. I want to chat with you after stream. So shoot me a message here on Twitch, and I want to shoot a message back to you. But do that if you wouldn't mind.
Lots of message
Before I
shooting.
forget. Yeah, do that. So let's see. If we've got nothing else in, we can go ahead and get started.
Yeah.
And dive into everything and see where we're at. And you know, we always got to hear a log entry to find out what happened. And even though Tashek isn't here today, Tashek had some thoughts. There was a lot going on. So let's hear Tashek's log
lot
entry
going on last
from
week.
last week.
Personal log, Lieutenant Tashek. I am not myself. At least I am not solely myself. For half my life, a Romulan agent has been sharing my body and my mind. Regardless of his motivations, Selethis has done terrible, unforgivable acts. As I look down at my own hands, I must wonder how many lives they have destroyed. I've always prided myself on my absolute mental and emotional control, and it has all been a lie. My mind has been tainted. Are you hearing this? Of course you are. You always are. The captain has come to an accord with Selethis and agreed to maintain his cover with the Tal Shayar. As a countermeasure, the captain has also fed false information to Admiral Davis and Grossick to see if we can flush out the leak within our chain of command. During Neumann and Selethis' negotiations of sorts, Chief Medical Officer Cade once again displayed his utter disregard for the chain of command and Starfleet protocols. He disobeyed direct orders, questioned the captain's authority in front of a hostile, and concluded his tantrum by reporting himself to the brig. Chief Cade has offered me excellent medical care these past few days, as is his duty to do so. However, his emotional instability makes me extremely uncomfortable, and I again must question whether he is cut out to be a Starfleet officer. The captain also conceded to allow me to return to my duties under strict surveillance and constant monitoring. I can't imagine what the first officer must think of all this, but I am eager to return to our mission. We have been diverted for too long, and Dr. Prescott's trail grows colder by the minute. As part of this agreement, when off duty, I will be working with Celethis on vigorous mental exercises. Through this training, we hope to strengthen the walls between us, whilst leaving a door open for us to begin communications. Of course, this is all just a short-term solution. We hope we can eventually find a way to extract his family from the Romulan control and return him to his own body. Chief Cade's earlier insubordination was pardoned by the captain, and he joined us on an away mission to Starbase 105 to follow up on any possible leads. After reviewing all the remaining security footage and interviewing a merchant, we have still come up with little new information. We are left with no other choice than to advance towards the Shackleton Expanse, the last known direction of Dr. Jennifer Prescott. Our detour to Starbase 105 did prove somewhat fruitful, however. The merchant we questioned was a peddler of some rare and fantastic produce, or so I deduced from Commander Izzy's enthusiasm of his fare. Shortly, I am off to join Izzy and the rest of the crew for a potluck, I believe they called it. I'm not usually one for extravagant nourishments, but after spending my last few meals in the brig, it will be a welcome change. To check out.
And coming back to the Mazu is en route to Starbase 364. It is several days away. Even at Warp 8, it's going to take you a few days to get there. So you've got a little haul to go on with here. So let's start off with Cade. I think you've been wanting to have a little meeting with the captain, check up on him medically for a while, yeah?
Yeah, I need to just do a little check-up, check-in. If you want to swing on by sick bay at your earliest convenience, Captain.
Yep.
Looking forward to it, huh?
After last week, nothing more that I wanted to do than spend time with old CMO Cade. No, I know.
Friends
I know.
We ended things well.
We did. It was
resolved.
all right, so
Very
yeah,
touching.
I'm there.
Cool. So I'm running general scans on him, just kind of asking, have you experienced anything out of the usual? Any new sensations or?
No.
Well, that's good. At the very least, it means your condition is stable, which is what we hoped for. Can I tell anything from scans? Any kind of
Just give me a reason medicine, just for grins.
difficulty?
Difficulty 0.
Okay.
5.
Can we get a ship assist?
Yeah, sure. Let's get a ship assist. Let's do it. Let's do a ship assist here.
Sure.
Yeah, do computers and medicine.
I'm not going to say anything until
Computers.
I know what the ship got.
And hey, I got a success.
Hey.
Yay! I got 3 successes.
Okay.
Wow.
So
okay,
much
so
momentum.
4 momentum in there. Wow.
Oh, I'm not even close to the momentum today.
You don't have to do any of that. Yay.
You got to babysit the momentum now.
Yeah,
somebody.
because I
that's
do
what-
get distracted.
Oh, okay.
You really do.
I do.
I thought you were a momentum man.
I'm not gonna lie.
He's supposed to be.
Yeah, the scans show nothing that you don't expect. He is Neumann, whatever that means. He is Neumann, from what your scans are from Hearth.
Okay.
But this DNA doesn't match anything, right?
No,
This is
still
a
nothing.
totally new pattern.
You're not seeing anything in your records that match what's going on in him right now.
Okay.
This is still double helix.
Yep, still double helix.
I'd like to, if you have the time, we can do it now. If not, we can schedule another time. But I'd like to run a battery of at the very least, physical test to check your strength, endurance.
There's nothing happening on the ship right now that requires my attention, at least my direct attention.
Okay, and we can stretch these out over several, and we're going to have to do a few of them over time to see the lingering effects, I think, of the change. So we might as well get a baseline. But if you have to go in the middle of it, I completely understand.
Yes, I would leave.
Yeah. Well, if it was important, I could.
Yes.
I could countermand you.
I'm aware.
Make you stay.
I know.
But there's no pressing priority for that at the moment. So
I would hope not.
all right. So let's start out with let's do just a little cardio. Let's get you on a treadmill and.
Do I have to lay on my back and push a couple of pistons up and down? It's from an old Star Trek episode. Go watch Star Trek, the original series, to see
Oh, that's
Space
right.
cardio.
Captain Kirk without a shirt on doing this with his legs.
Doing space cardio.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, right?
Yes. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, I didn't watch a lot of TOS recently, but that's one of the episodes I watched and I went,
Well, it can't look like regular old Earth cardio or
No.
space cardio.
yeah, it's good.
But now it's future space cardio.
Future
so it's come
space
a long
cardio.
way.
All right, so what do I push with my legs?
Push them against this running strip that
Aye.
moves underneath you.
Here we go.
I mean, you're doing your thing.
Doesn't he have to roll for that? That's a
I'm not trying to defeat anything. I'm
roll for
merely-
cardio.
Roll for cardio.
So yeah, just kind of like a general battery of physical testing him for
Am I any stronger?
strength, any increases in strength, speed, reflex response.
I mean, you're not seeing anything physiological in your test, whether it is VO2 max, whatever you're testing. You're not seeing anything that is out of line with where he was based on previous tests.
Okay. I want to do some tests on sensory responses, on if his eyesight is improved or hearing testing into maybe like ranges that normally aren't seen or heard, and kind of seeing
Sure.
if he's developed any.
Let's do a reason and medicine check difficulty 1.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay, so that is 4 successes.
Well, load that shit up.
All the way.
We're full. That's all she can take, Captain.
You do notice that there is a slightly enhanced ability to hear, especially at the higher frequencies.
Okay.
Like way above what anybody could hear, but you're at least getting a response. Like it's probably even not a response he's getting, but you're seeing neural activity with
Yeah.
those frequencies.
Okay.
Frequencies.
Interesting. Okay. And I think, well, you're showing a heightened auditory response and higher frequencies. Here, are you actually sensing anything in those ranges, or?
Not that I've noticed.
Okay. All right. You are responding to them, however, so some mechanism is able to detect them. So that may be something that we can examine and maybe even enhance, and to the point that you may be able to. We'll check over time.
It may have some value.
The last test I'd like to run today is a chemical response test. And I reach down underneath a cabinet and I pull up 2 beers and I hand one. So I need to see how you handle your alcohol now that you've been changed.
I think we know.
I'm going to use myself as a
control?
baseline. Yes, if you.
I'll judge. Well, I got this. Hey.
Hey.
You also may want to take some different cells, replicate them, and expose them to, heat, colds,
Certainly.
caustic materials, poisons. See if there's any potential benefit outside of hearing like a dog.
Oh, hearing like a dog is pretty good, as I understand it. I've never met a dog, so.
You're missing out. They're great.
Well. How are you holding up mentally? You had to undergo this huge change. I know that George is the more official counselor aboard now, but it's like 1-to-1 having to take on all this responsibility after such a huge change. Just that, if you want to chat.
It's obviously difficult. And the circumstances that led to my promotion, of course, still weigh heavily on me. It's not so much guilt as it is there was a better way to get to this place. And with time, patience, and perseverance, I would have gotten there, I believe.
Absolutely.
But instead, and partially because I believe someone wants me to fail, I was put in this spot. Because someone died. Because someone was killed. And so much has happened so quickly, I haven't even had a chance to take on my own physical changes until now, in any serious way. In a strange way, this long trip into the Shackleton Expanse, I'm hoping it'll be somewhat of a respite, at least for me.
I think getting back on mission is going to be good for everybody. Help us focus on a task and not have to linger in everything that's happened the last week, 2? It's been so much has happened. It feels like we've been together undergoing all of this for a very long time. And I don't know, maybe there's some kind of relativistic relationship between time and space and emotion, but I think you've been doing an excellent job so far. We're all would be proud.
Well, stressful situations do breed camaraderie, at least for those that survive. And that's another part of it too, is survivors banding together.
That is for certain.
I do believe that for the crew, having a sense of routine while we make this long trip will have benefits as well of deepening that connection. And also allowing some of the people who've only been able to move about the ship in times of chaos to relax and see who each other are in passive situations like this.
Absolutely. I mean, I think we should be able to socialize beyond the occasional potluck. As much fun as those have been, or at least the first one. How did it go the other night? I covered George's shift for him, so felt like he deserved to experience one.
It was good. The food was good. Companionship was fine. Riald is a curious one. I mean, he is curious.
Yeah.
By nature.
Seems to be his driving personality trait.
I believe he fits in with much of the crew. It seems that we all have some level of an adventurous spirit. whether it's food or the universe.
I thought initially when he came on board that he and I would have bonded a bit better because we're both from such kind of isolated worlds and coming into Starfleet so new, but I think he's had a better time adjusting to the way things are done than even I have after all this time.
And it seems the difference would be that he was desperate for this experience, where you came upon it somewhat out of necessity.
True.
And while I believe you have an adventurous spirit, I don't know how curious you are about Starfleet.
I mean, increasingly so since I returned. I've been trying to brush up where I can on protocols and regulations and all the things that I didn't necessarily get indoctrinated with through an academic experience. And I've definitely come to respect the ideals that you all represent and fight for, that we all now represent and fight for. May not always hold the institution itself in the highest regard, but I think the philosophies are sound, worthy. And I think this crew does an excellent job of exemplifying them for those we encounter. Beyond that, I don't know what we're supposed to do.
Well, the mission is fairly clear.
It's true, even if it's led us through some muddied waters.
Well, there are those who seem to have taken the positive outlook of the mission and the Prime Directive, and while only the most naive would think that there were no holes in it, it's some other type of person who would exploit the natural positive experience of Starfleet's mission to distort it for their own ends, which I still don't understand. I don't know what they want. I don't know why they're sending us out here, and I don't know why they want us to fail, or if they do. But they're manipulating us, and the only thing... what they're doing is manipulating us using Starfleet's rules and Starfleet's mission. And the only way we can fight it is with Starfleet's rules and Starfleet's mission. We won't be made fools of.
No. I think there's certainly some room within those rules and regulations. As I've looked at the history of many of the heroes of this organization, that where rules on occasion are perhaps better treated as guidelines, and we have to trust our own consciousness and our own consciences. Wow, that's hard to say.
And that's why they give captains so much leeway, so they know that plans and rules don't always apply to every situation, and sometimes they are guidelines, and sometimes they are to be ignored or amended. It's something I must remember.
It's rough waters to sail, navigating between being so dedicated to an ideal that you fail it versus going so far afield to defend it that you lose it.
Well, this lager has not affected me any more or less than I would expect it to.
We'll have to try something stronger next time.
Okay.
Just for science.
For science, for research.
Of course.
Whatever moves, but might potentially move the needle on what happened to me.
I think we still have those glowing green bottles from the station.
Yeah.
Whenever you're up for sampling those particular wares.
Sooner rather than later, I'm sure. I do have something I do need to check upon right now,
course,
unless you wish to detain me as Chief Medical Officer.
No, sir. You have a clean bill of health. I take a quick cell sample to run the tests he suggested.
Okay.
And then you are dismissed, Captain.
Thank you.
And as you're leaving, you see Izzy right at the door with you. Oh, hey. Coming into sickbay.
Ah.
Oh.
Hello, Chief.
Oh.
I
Hey.
just wanted to. Hey,
Hello.
Captain. I was just gonna pop in. I had a quick conversation I wanted to have with the chief.
Well, he's in good spirits,
Great.
and so am I,
Excellent.
as you were. And I'll continue on my way, going
Continue
to
on your
place
way.
on the ship. Where am I going?
Probably your quarters. Poof. Yeah, poof.
Wherever he's going.
You're there in sickbay with Cade.
Chief?
I just kind of wanted to check in. Missed you at the potluck.
Yeah, sorry I couldn't make it. I thought George had earned a rest, and I couldn't leave his shift uncovered, so...
He had indeed.
How was the Hasper at?
It was great.
Oh, good. I thought it turned out. I just, it's
Did
hard.
it? Did it seem like?
I kept one for myself.
Yeah, but I mean, did it come out the way you wanted it to? Was it pretty close to what you were aiming for?
Closer than the first batch from when
Closer
I
ingredients.
first came over. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for
All
certain.
right. We'll have to keep working on it then.
Yeah,
See
I
what we
mean,
can
well, so grandfather Nahil would always say, as the quest for the perfect brine is an eternal one.
Seems fair. What
can I do for you?
I guess I was just kind of worried. But
Okay.
Oh, I'm fine. I meant about you. Have you dealt with Romulans before?
Never directly. I've read up on them, studied their physiology fairly extensively, and a bit of their combat techniques. I was putting together a compendium for Morganth, and there was some time before I delivered it. I decided to take a peek myself.
They're kind of a unique piece of work as a species.
That seems to be the case.
And Slethus really kind of gotcha. And that certainly didn't look good from where I was standing, and it couldn't have felt good from where you were.
No.
I just, I mean, I have to admit, for myself, I had gotten so swept up in the story about his family that I had even momentarily managed to forget that he was a Romulan, and not only a Romulan, but a Romulan politician. And he's clearly very, very good at deception and using people against each other, and I just wanted to make sure you were okay, because he used you hard.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not
You get the...
You laid a trap and I walked right into it. Yeah, I get it.
Well, we all walked into it together is the thing, and I'm just afraid that the best way that I've found to deal with them is to just kind of give them what they want, at least on surface, and to someone who doesn't... You don't give them what they want, you tell them what they want to hear, and then you do something else. And to someone who doesn't know that that's the plan, that could look an awful lot like appeasing a murderer and terrorist. And I just wanted to make sure you knew that I do have the utmost faith in you. And I'm pretty confident that if you had a Cardassian on that table, you wouldn't let him die. And this is kind of the same deal.
If I had a Cardassian on that table, I would probably do exactly what I've done and hand responsibility over to the next person I trust most, which is Jorsh.
What if you were the only one there?
I would do my very best to keep my emotions out of the equation, to operate on them to the best of my ability, to remove never been good at hypotheticals. It's theory. In this particular case, I have the cover of Protecting Tashek.
Well, in this case, you'll do whatever you need to protect Tashek, yeah?
In this particular case, that means letting Jorsh take point in her treatment and steering as clear as I can from someone who clearly knows where all of my buttons are.
Mm-hmm. I guess...
I'm not... I was upset with all of you for a little bit because it did look a lot like appeasement, and
from my end, it felt a little bit like we neglected to get you the memo.
I also felt like I didn't have the trust of the people that I serve with. And maybe I haven't done enough to earn that or earn it back after past actions, but it stung deep. And even deeper than that was I was angry at myself for falling for it, for not seeing he's playing chess and I'm trying to have a boxing match.
Well, for what it's worth, I am at least grateful to you for helping to remind me what we're dealing with. Because he showed his true colors. And I, for one, will be much less... Well, I'll be much more guarded around him, that's for sure. It was a good reminder that he's still going to try to play us no matter what.
Oh, yeah. We all have to be
Vigilant.
mindful.
You're still going to keep an eye on.
It's for you, Cade.
Excuse me. Cade here.
You're late.
Is that today?
That was today.
All right. I'm on my way.
Yeah, you are.
First session with George.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I get to be his inaugural patient,
That feels right.
I suppose.
You're late.
I am. I hand off the pad and the testing to one of the other medics and just like,
Sure.
go ahead and run full skim. I need to. Thank you. By the way, it does mean a lot. And I,
Head off to George.
yes.
I want to check in with Stian real quick.
I would like to see about having a meeting with the captain regarding
Sure.
Slethis.
Sure, go for it.
Captain, are you available for a chat regarding our Romulan prisoner?
Certainly. Have a seat. Be in my quarters.
Sure.
I've been doing much thinking on this situation. It's a difficult situation. But I realized that what I previously thought my people was a weakness. They feared outsiders. It's kept us isolated. I realized also provides me with a fairly unique benefit. That unlike most other peoples, at least from my limited time on board observing, we also haven't formed any long-running and deep-seated hatred of anyone else. And I'm not saying that in any judgmental or hostile way. I understand the histories between various peoples that run far beyond our generations. So I've been trying to figure out what we can do, possibly, with this prisoner. Obviously, he has committed crimes. He can't just be set free to frolic with his family in a field on some remote planet. There are lives he must pay for. Meanwhile, we also are trying desperately to find a way to separate him and Tashek, which I'm only guessing the Romulans must have a way to do. So perhaps some Romulan knowledge might help. And then his family in the equation. Technically, I suppose, enemies in our eyes, while not, to my understanding, directly guilty of anything that we know of, correct?
That's correct.
So all these variables have been swirling around in my head. And I formulated a somewhat bold, if incomplete, plan that I wanted to speak with you about. Here's my proposal that will require, obviously, more thought and agreement from so many sides, but let's put it simply. If he has not been able to yet offer us anything that he wants that's reasonable, obviously. You know, he said he wants to protect his family. We know this much. Well, again, obviously, we can't release him to go be with his family. What if we were were he to agree to this, if we were able to get his family, who might have, between him and his family, maybe they would have knowledge that would help us remove him from Tashek. What if I could get Hearth to agree to keep him imprisoned on Hearth, with his family secretly sequestered away? They'd be safe. He'd be in prison. He'd at least be able to have visits from his family and see his children growing up, if not in their presence on a daily basis. It's the best balance I've been able to come up with of justice for all involved.
Does Hoth have capital punishment?
Do we have capital punishment? No, we do not.
Well, his crimes include the death of 6 of the Hoth
Indeed.
and our captain. The Hoth have told me that they do want justice, which I assume would include some sort of trial with evidence followed by sentencing and imprisonment.
And I would most certainly think that being imprisoned for the rest of your life with your family so near is about as severe as a punishment as I can imagine. While having the minimal punishment on his family themselves. I mean, obviously, having your wife, your father, imprisoned and not a part of your life is one thing, but that's on him and his actions. That's something that can't be undone.
So how do you propose all the rest? You have the end.
Indeed.
What about the journey?
That's the question. Now, my short time on the ships seems to have been directly thrown right into the fire, as they say, and that, again, from my listening and observing, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel we are somewhat alone on our journey right now, not knowing who we can trust, even within those that are supposedly our allies.
It is a fairly unique situation in Star Trek's in Starfleet's history. In Star Trek history, it hasn't happened much. Even though there were 9 conspiracies in the first season of Star Trek TNG, you know what I'm saying? Too many conspiracies.
Indeed, sir. I've been watching them all in the library.
The historical records.
Yes.
Historical.
Which also, well, this is where I believe all the knowledge here on the ship would come in handy, but I would volunteer myself in any capacity needed, in that while I do not... Again, were Selethis to even agree for this, then we have to figure out the best way to retrieve his family. Would they agree to this? Would they then... Are they such loyal Romulan officers that they would simply... If alerted to such a plan, would they turn their backs on him, or would... There are many variables, but...
There are unknowns, of course.
Me being the newest to Starfleet, being not a human, being Hearth, I believe also makes me perhaps the best person to speak to Selethis on the matter, probably the least inflammatory. And should this need to be some kind of unofficial mission, shall we say, I would be willing to take it on, in that I have, I think, the least to lose in such a matter.
Specialist Rod, would you accompany me to the... Where did the tiny ships hang out?
With the shuttle bay?
Yeah, shuttle bay.
Yeah.
You would accompany me to the tiny ship. You would accompany me
Tiny
to
ships go.
accompany me to the tiny ship room.
I would love to see the tiny ship, sir.
You would accompany me to the shuttle bay.
As you wish.
I will walk with him to the shuttle bay.
Okay.
I will walk over to the runabout,
Okay.
which is being worked on right now by members of the crew.
Uh-huh.
It's like our ship, but tinier.
Yes, this is the runabout. Right now, it is being installed with a modular. I had it in my head. Transponder, which gives options on what this rather small ship will be detected as by various detection devices. There will be a mission, and it will be off the books.
So I assumed it must be at this moment.
And I know you volunteered your services to
Indeed.
talk to Selethis. But I'm going to need your services on this mission.
Whatever is needed that best serves the whole, I am willing to give. And I believe that wherever I'm supposed to go, my path will lead me.
It's going to lead you to someplace I don't think you ever imagined.
Indeed, sir.
Romulan Empire.
Seeing so much of the universe in such a short span.
You're going to see some place that even Starfleet hasn't been. I'll be making a more formal mission statement soon.
Any way I may serve, sir.
I like the way you think. I'm glad you came to me with this.
Thank you, Captain.
Parallel thinking. It's always good to have more than one mind pondering the same idea.
I agree, sir. That is one of Starfleet's strengths. And I have always thought is many cultures and different ways of thinking all intermeshing into one.
It is exactly what makes Starfleet what it is. I'll leave you to it.
Thank you, Captain.
All right, so you leave Stian in the shuttle bay where he is watching what's going on, asking a few questions. You leave the shuttle bay. Let's jump into the hallway right outside of George's new office. You ring and you hear the gruff voice, "Come on in."
And I enter.
Why are you late?
Well, I was checking up on the captain, which has been on the books for a while, but of course we've had to continually delay.
Right.
And then Izzy came by and wanted to have a word, and well, lost track of time, and I apologize.
Right, so you weren't avoiding this or anything.
No, this is good. This was
No, is it good? Is it good?
this is good.
This is good. It's good. Hey,
Good. I've been excited. Been looking forward to.
you've been looking
Excited.
looking
Yes.
forward to this. I
Yes.
see. So where would you like to start?
Do I talk about my childhood? Do you just do? How
I mean, we can dive. I mean, we can start
What do
with
you-
your unshakable cowardice. Do we want to start there? Unbearable self-loathing, maybe there. Help me out. Uncontrollable narcissism. Which one do you want to start with?
Seems like you got a checklist. So
Oh, you check a lot of boxes. You check a lot of boxes.
I'm sure
Yeah.
I do. Yes.
Yeah, but you know, I'm curious how you're feeling right now.
I was in a pretty good mood.
Yeah, no, you're not, are you? No.
You got something you want to say?
No, that's not my job as the counselor. My job
okay.
is to.
It seems like you're already diagnosing for.
Oh, I've been observing you for a while.
Oh, I'm
I'm not
sure.
going to make any diagnoses or anything.
Okay.
Before we have official session.
Which is this now?
Right.
Yes.
this right
Okay.
now.
So
This right now. So let's get in here. By the way, real quick, before we go any farther, anybody watching, I am not a licensed therapist. Just so you
No, this
know.
is pretty accurate.
You might be after this episode.
I might be after this
Submit this episode to.
This is not real.
It's totally how my therapy sessions go.
Totally how it works, right? Absolutely. Hey, back into the thing.
oof.
Huh. Fancy. Yeah, so, I mean, like I said, you check a lot of boxes. I mean, where do you want to start?
Dealer's choice.
Dealer's choice? Well, the fact that you haven't run out, I think, is progress. Because normally, I think this situation where you're confronted with something, you would leave.
Okay.
Because that's normally what you do.
When confronted with something.
When confronted, period.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You disagree.
I do, but I think that's probably one of the other boxes I've checked.
Oh, yeah, you totally checked that one, too. Because, I mean, I've been looking at your history. I've actually been in contact with some of your friends back when you were growing up, too. Because, you know, I like to do research.
Be curious to see the names on that list.
I'm sure you would. But, I mean, let's talk about it. Because you disagree with the fact that you run. I mean, let's look back when you joined the Resistance.
Okay.
What were you running from then?
Well, I was running to
No.
fight and help my
No.
people.
No. What were you running from?
I mean, directionally speaking, the farm that I grew up on.
Who was on the farm?
my family, the people I grew up with, the people who disapproved of me joining the resistance.
Oh, the people who disapproved of you, like your father, who strongly disapproved of you.
My father, who was a farmer, who worked the land, who
was never satisfied with what you could do.
He seemed perfect.
He pushed you pretty hard.
He trained us all in how to work the land and how to be hardy and self-sufficient.
Okay.
It was, if we want to talk about demanding, then let's get into this cliche and talk about my mother.
Okay, let's get into that then.
Okay. She could see no path for any of her children than the one she had taken from her father, and that was medicine. The Cardassians had done away with our caste system, and yet they couldn't seem to imagine any future for the three of us except doctor.
Okay, and that's not what you wanted.
I wanted the choice.
Okay.
I wanted to at least be able to have the conversation, but it was never up for debate. We were trained from an early age on people and animal alike. Trained hard, studied hard, and then we would also learn how to work the land from.
And you didn't want to work the land. You wanted to get closer to the resistance, move into the cities a little more and everything.
I mean, the older I got, the more that I saw the hardships people were suffering.
Right.
There wasn't a whole lot of fighting to be done in the Kindra Valley at that point.
Right. Well, I was talking to some of your people who were actually in the resistance with you that I was able to dig up. I'm good at that. And they said you kept complaining about how your father forbade you from moving out and joining the resistance.
No, I think their memories may be a little unclear because it was my mother who had the biggest problem. Who I had the biggest shout out with. My father just sat there, didn't really say much
Interesting.
at all as I left. I don't know whether he approved or disapproved. He sat there and let Mom do most of the talking that night, and we haven't really talked much since then. So
No, because apparently your family wouldn't let you talk to him.
my sister, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So your familial relationships aren't great.
No.
No.
That's I feel like that's a matter of fairly public record.
Yeah, especially with everyone I talked to, yeah.
Yeah.
They definitely said that. So you're saying that you didn't run away from your father, but you did run away from your mother then?
I ran away from my upbringing to help people.
And then when you were in the resistance, how did that work out for you?
I mean, we won.
Yeah,
So-
how'd that work out for you?
I'm still here, others aren't. But
Right, exactly, yeah. Why'd that happen?
the Prophet's will.
Oh, come on. Take some personal responsibility.
I wanted to fight, and they saw I had other skills that they thought could be put to better use. One of our first skirmishes, I helped patch up some of the ground troops as we were making our getaway. Made sure they were able to get away and that we didn't have to leave them behind. And our cell leader said, "Need a medic more than we need a fighter." And at that point, they started pulling me off of operations and out of skirmishes, or had me hang back with the rear guard or getaway driver or whoever was handling transpo or recon, indirect action in case I was needed in the field. So, yeah, even running away. My mom still got her wish.
Yeah, but did she though? Because you defied orders. Right? That's what happened, right? You went against the orders you were given.
In one battle, yes.
There were multiple, but there's one in particular I think you're thinking of. Right? That's what happened.
Yeah.
Right. And how'd that turn out?
Well, my best friend died and I lived. And he died so that I could live. And he wouldn't have had to if I had retreated when we were told to fall back.
So you didn't fall back when you were ordered to, and your best friend died.
I thought I could hold off their advance longer, help people get away.
So you thought that you were right. So you defied the orders of your superiors, and your best friend died.
That is correct.
Okay. Let's work on a timeline here. And then when you left the resistance after the liberation, you went to the University of Bejor, yeah?
No.
Well, eventually you went to the provisional government first.
Yes, I was in the the militia
Sure.
at first. I was commissioned as lieutenant in the Bajoran militia.
Great, yeah. You were commissioned as an officer right out of that.
Yes.
You had earned the rank of officer, and then you left. Why'd you leave that?
It didn't. It was mostly a desk position. And I thought that there was more that I could do for my people by developing and formalizing the gifts the prophets had seen fit to grant me. And so I resigned my commission, at least informally. I'm technically still an officer, just not on active duty, and enrolled in the University of Bejor.
Great. So why'd you leave university?
Because it seemed like there was a greater potential and more imminent threat to my people and to this part of the galaxy. And and I wanted to help. It seemed like a classroom wasn't going to be the best place to do that, and I didn't think that my people's military at that time was up to the task of handling more than domestic matters, and a few instances showed that they weren't even entirely up to snuff for handling those. So I decided that Starfleet would hopefully be the best place to offer my talents and hopefully help oppose the threat of the Dominion.
Okay, so why'd you quit Starfleet?
Because I couldn't save Rawl. And I couldn't help after I couldn't save Rawl. It was made abundantly clear to me that I was, quite frankly, useless. And it seemed the best thing at that time was to remove myself and reevaluate where I needed to be and where I could be useful.
A bigger help.
Yes.
Okay, right. And who said you were useless, by the way?
Oh, let's see. Primarily Captain Archer.
Oh, so Captain Archer told you that you were useless.
Morrissey over on...
Morrissey told you were useless.
Not in so many words, but...
Oh, so they didn't actually say that.
Not those words, no.
Oh, okay. All right, just making sure.
That was my translation.
Oh, your translation. Your
Yes.
interpretation of their words was that
Yes.
you were useless.
Yes.
Fabulous. Why did you go to the brig?
This most recent occasion...
You put yourself in the brig. When else would I be talking about?
Oh, I don't know. The Klingons put me in their brig. I've been in a few brigs in my time.
How about this
I
one?
just want to make sure that we're
How
on
about
the
this
same
one?
page.
We're on the same page. How about this one?
Because tempers were hot in that room, and I had already walked into one of the Romulans' traps, and I did not want to continue being a distraction. And quite frankly, I did not want to keep hearing his lies or our appeasement, tactical or otherwise. And it just seemed like the best thing to do at that point was to remove myself from the situation. And seeing as I had apparently been insubordinate to the captain in front of a hostile enemy, it seemed fitting that I report myself for disciplinary action.
Was it also fitting before you do that you vindictively call for a lockdown on the medbay?
I was concerned about the threat that...
Oh, stop it. You keep telling yourself fictions about your life to justify what you're doing. But let's really look at things. You keep saying you want to help people, but every time you've left, you've been looking for a fight.
The best way to help people when I was growing up was to fight.
Was it?
I think so.
Did it help your friend? Did it help your brother?
My brother died honorably, standing up for people who were being victimized and
Who fought because you fought. Who looked up to you and followed you, joined the resistance, and fought and died.
Well, I should clarify one thing, despite what you may have seen in the official record. Regine was never actually a member of the resistance. He was accused and executed as a traitor to the Cardassian Empire for that crime, but his only crime was standing up for other innocent people being rounded up to make a more dramatic spectacle of the execution of the actual handful of resistance fighters who were hiding there in Kendra.
I see. So you're not gonna own any of that either.
I'm sorry?
You're not gonna own that either. Any responsibility for that as well.
Responsibility for my brother's death.
Right. Because I feel like you're not saying you're responsible, but you feel like you're responsible.
I'm sorry, I thought that was... I take some responsibility, certainly. I feel a certain degree of guilt, but I also feel a measure of pride that he died honorably on his feet, standing up against tyranny. I've seen plenty of people die on their backs begging for mercy. If I have to choose between the two, I know which one I would choose, and...
So that's why you keep looking for a fight.
Maybe.
The fact you said maybe, I'm going to count as progress. I'm going to mark that in my little box that says progress.
That's no little checkbox. There you go.
There's separate boxes for progress and other things, but right now we're going to put progress on that one. Because my goal here, well, I was going to say my goal isn't to make you mad, but it kind of is actually. But my goal here is to help you, Chief. Now, you don't think you need the help.
Oh, I'm more than aware that I need help.
Well, you don't act like it.
Well, I can't just walk around crying all the time in the field position and begging for mercy. I have to get through the day. I have to help people who need helping. And then when it's time for me to get help, hi, I'm sorry I was late.
So your acting out and lashing out at the people around you aren't cries for help?
I see from the way you say it, I feel like you're implying that they are.
Oh, they are.
Okay.
Yeah, let's be clear on that. Yeah, let's be really clear on that. They are. You may not be crying in tears, but your actions are a cry for help. Now, the challenge is for you to see that.
Okay.
And it's a challenge because this is not something you're going to want to deal with. I mean, I can sit here and look at these things. We've got some of these I wouldn't even say unless you were like a child. Some of these diagnoses, the oppositional defiance disorder, normally for kids. But you're not a child. The narcissism, that's in there as well. There's the Messiah complex.
What's a messiah?
It's like a religious savior, someone who can save everyone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
You see that one.
well, I mean, the prophets chose a certain path for me, so...
Oh, there we go. Yep. There you go. We're even looking at a borderline personality disorder.
What does that mean?
You want me to tick off some of the things and let's see where we're at? Let's do that.
If you're gonna put labels on me, I'd like to know what they mean.
How about intense bouts of anger and depression or anxiety? You got those?
Sure.
Okay, where's one. How about distortions in thoughts in your sense of self? You ever feel like you have trouble figuring out who you are as a person?
I mean, doesn't everybody?
Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't think I was alone in that.
Well, you're not alone in that. You're not alone in that, but this is a little extreme.
Okay, good to know.
You have trouble with interpersonal relationships?
Well, considering you're my best friend, I think, yeah, that's pretty clear.
I mean, yeah. How are things going with the rest of the crew, huh?
Well, the captain and I are getting on pretty good, and Chief and I had a nice little chat, and
Really close, huh?
Morgan's never liked me, so
There's a lot of warmth. I can feel the warmth.
you know, and to Shek, I don't expect. So she's a Vulcan. Like,
Disruption in family and work life, long-term planning. Gee, you were at the provisional government, you're with Bajoran University, you were Starfleet, you quit Starfleet, you came back to Starfleet, you threw yourself. I'm just throwing them out there. There's a lot of stuff in here, Cade.
so what do we do?
Well, we got to figure out. We got to figure out a way for you to stop hating yourself. Let's start there. Because you actively hate yourself, whether you want to admit it or not.
Why didn't you just run? When the others ran, I told them, fall back. I've got this. You could have just run.
And let you die?
Yeah!
Why? Why did you need to die?
So that none of them had to. And then they just kept me away from it all. Just bounced me from cell to cell. So working on fixing people. And I thought if I can't be out there saving them, I could at least do my job here. And I tried. When I saw them fall, I tried. He wouldn't move. He wouldn't. He was just laying there with a stupid look on his face, just blood pouring out of him, and I couldn't stop it. It was funny. He was the one who recruited me when I first got to the city. He started working as a janitor at the university. Just trying to pay my way until I could make contact somehow, and he and I hit it off. And Luthien. I know you probably got it there on your
I got it.
notes, but correct, Luthien.
When was the last time you said his name?
Out loud?
Mm-hmm.
His wake. The first bottle.
Good question. You realize if you die, he doesn't come back, right?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
None of them do.
You realize that's not your fault.
At least I was there with him. When Regine died, when Scaris died, to hear about your brother's death from a sister who's staring at you with nothing but hate in her eyes. To hear about your mentor's death on a news wave. Just one number among the casualties on New Bejor.
Realize you couldn't have helped either, right?
I don't know.
Oh, come on. You could have single-handedly stopped that attack.
I could have.
You could have died.
I could have helped him get away. I could have helped the others.
No one got away. No one got away, Cade. You would have died with everyone else. You can't save everyone. And you dying doesn't bring anyone back. All right. We've had some moments here. Let's be really clear on a few things. You keep believing that you can bring people back and you know the way to do it, that only you can make it happen. That's evident in your history, it's evidence in your record, it's evidence in your time here on the ship. You can't bear that burden. Period. Nobody can. Now, a big part of this is you realizing it. Because we started out this session, I started hearing these stories that you were telling about yourself, and I'm going to say it again. We tell fictions to ourselves to ease the pain of self-reflection. And these fictions that you've been telling yourself are going to get in the way of you figuring it out and moving on. So it's time for you to stop telling the fictions and start facing the realities. You have a problem with authority. You hate being told what to do. You hate being confronted. You hate being overruled. And all of this goes back to your history. You have to understand this if you're going to move on. Are you with me?
Yeah.
You don't have to like it, but I just need to know you're with me.
No, yeah.
This constant cowardice that I talked about earlier, is you running away, is your rejection of authority, is your rejection of all of these people who you don't think know as much as you or can't do anything. You see where I'm at with that?
Sure.
I don't expect you to agree with it yet, but we're going to work on it.
Okay.
It's what my job is now, thanks to you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, right. I bet you're happy about that now, right, aren't you?
Well,
Uh-huh. Now, here's the first challenge. No, there's a lot of challenges. Here's a challenge. We're just going to put it on the list of challenges. I've got other boxes with challenges.
oh, good.
Here's one. Slethus is your patient.
You won't trust me.
Doesn't matter. He's your patient.
I don't know how to serve somebody who doesn't trust me. He's gonna fight me every step of the way.
Yep, but you know what? You have to care about him. That's how you make someone trust you. You care about them. You fight for them. Now, don't get me wrong. I've under orders to take point, and I'll continue that.
Good.
Understand, Slethus is your patient. You have to care about Slethus. When you can start to care about someone else like that, maybe we'll start to see some progress in these other things we're looking at. Can you care about Slethus?
We'll find out.
No. Hey, you know what? I'm going to say this. He was right. There was something he said he was really right on. If your ideals don't apply to everyone, it's just propaganda. Do you care about the living creatures in this universe or not? If you do, then you're going to care about Slethus. If you don't, we'll put it on another challenge.
Tell me how.
How to care?
How to care about someone like him. How to care about a killer. How to care about a liar. I'm not being defiant. Please.
I understand. I'm not saying it's easy. You grew up in the occupation. You saw horrible things. I understand that. It's going to color everything you see. It's going to color how you look at the world. But it doesn't change the fact that this is a person who needs help. Just because you've had it tough, just because you've seen horrible things, doesn't kill empathy.
It's just so hard knowing what he's done. Just intellectually, I can process it. I can compartmentalize it, but just inside, I think about it. I think about Rawls' last moments. I think about those remains on a hearth. And I just boil.
Good, boil. Keep boiling. Go. Keep boiling. There's nothing wrong with it.
It's just, there's nothing redeemable I can see in him.
Find something. Do you think his love for his family is redeemable?
I think tribalism is ingrained in every species.
So love is not a redeeming factor.
I think being willing to murder other people for,
See what happened right there?
oh God.
All right, we're going to call it a day. Take the rest of the day. Think about it. And I'm here if you need me. Got it, Chief?
Yes, sir. You're good.
I dabble. And on that, we're going to take a halfway break. We'll be back
Yeah.
in this room.
He's a dabbler.
My microphone. And we're back. Thanks for hanging out with us. Still in between the break, we had to take a break to kind of gather,
Decompress a little bit.
decompress
It's a little
just a little verklempt in the things happening. Jumping back into the episode, the Mazu has been traveling to Starbase 364, and as we jump back in, we are approaching 364. As Captain, you get a call on the radio from Nelson reporting that they are approaching Starbase 364.
Go on the bridge.
You're there, crew is there, we've got senior staff, Steon's at Science Station. You're actually up on the engineering station as well. Why not? You're still in sick bay because you usually are.
Ooh, I didn't put my mic back on. Nobody
yeah.
can hear me.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez.
What are you saying, Captain?
What? What'd you say? Unless you want to order Cade up to the bridge as well.
Well, George gave me the rest of the day off, so I'm actually in the Arboretum
I'll
enjoying a treat.
I'll leave him to it.
Fair enough, fair enough. So you're approaching 364, getting into a holding station outside the Starbase.
I'll hail.
Hailing the Starbase, you do get an answer from an officer. Mazu, this is Starbase 364. How can I help you?
We are currently on a mission taking us to explore the Shackleton Expanse. And we wanted to stop here for a moment.
This will be the place to do it, Captain. Welcome aboard. What do you know about Nerendra Station?
What do I know about it?
Captain,
What do I know about it?
as much as you know about it.
I don't know anything. Not much.
Not much. Well, it is a joint Federation Klingon facility.
Oh, I knew that.
I know nothing except that.
Just making sure that you are aware of that. General Kargan is now the current commander who is on the duty roster, so you would be dealing with General Kargan, who is a Klingon representative. But if you need anything in particular, let us know. Otherwise, welcome aboard, and we will log your entry into space.
Thank you.
Of course. Captain, I'm assuming, would you like to beam over? Are you going to be sending shuttles over?
Oh, we'll beam over.
Beam over? Absolutely. I'll let the transporter room know, and they will be waiting for your arrival.
Excellent.
Closing it off. I guess you're beaming over?
Yeah.
Who all you sending?
Well, how about everybody that's here?
How about everybody? How about everybody
Just
goes
him.
over?
We all get to play.
Yeah.
Everybody goes over.
We'll get. Cade probably needs a little time off the
There
ship.
you go.
Let's get you off that ship for a
Get you
minute,
off that
buddy.
ship.
Have you walk around.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Get a milkshake.
No,
want
wait till you-
hey, buddy, you want a milkshake? You want a Klingon milkshake?
No. Blood milkshake.
You want to play Arboretum on the station?
All right, you beam over to the transporter room. You're on 364. What's the plan?
Well, we don't have anything specific to do here other than be seen.
Other than be seen, I don't know if you want to
We
look
can see if they've
Yeah,
seen
Yeah.
our runabout.
that's true.
We have our usual cover story.
Just out of curiosity, have my people ever had any dealings with the Klingons?
I mean, briefly, yes. They're very insular, but
Like, have I ever in person seen a Klingon?
no. Your first time ever seeing a Klingon. And there are a lot of Klingons. Actually, Klingons are the majority of the base right now. So when you beam over, you see a lot of Klingons all over the place. They're a Federation as well, and a lot of other races. But they are there.
I'll just sort of like, don't stare too hard. It's a, as many gestures are, it's a sign of aggression.
Ah, thank you, Captain.
Have you not ever?
Never seen a Klingon. It's very exciting.
Also, don't show fear.
I fear no Klingon.
You're not gonna.
That's a little aggressive.
Oh, I fear no Klingon.
What?
No headbutting tournaments this time, maybe?
I won't start any, but I gotta have some fun.
Well, let's find the security officer on duty.
Right, security office, not food. Yes.
We can't. I can't. You two could go and take care
No,
of
we should go.
supplies.
We should go. No, we should go do work first. We're well supplied, sir.
Well, I know.
I just got a little excited about the thought of introducing him to some new foods.
We
But
probably don't have
we
any
can
Klingon food on board, do we?
A bit.
Oh, yeah.
work first. Mission first.
Yes.
Not fresh though.
We'll find the security officer.
Okay, yeah, you're heading down. It's not hard. You ask a few directions, and they do point you to where the security officer is on their promenade itself. It's a very busy station. There's a lot of stuff going on, but security office is there. There is a Klingon behind the security desk right now,
Okay.
just working away.
All right. I'll greet the officer in Klingon. I have linguistics, so I finally get to use that focus.
Your accent's horrible.
I've heard that from people in Starfleet as well.
Wow. Even in that other language, it's really all right.
How Klingon would sound in German.
So, Mark, how long ago would Prescott positive travel past here?
It's hard to say because the runabout that they're in, max warp 4.
Right.
So you're going there. I think you were going there at warp 8.
Yeah.
So you would have caught up a little bit. You would have been there. So it could have been a few days.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
In the past week or so, have you had any runabouts or shuttles pass by the station, stop by the station, picked up on long-range sensors, anything like that?
We have a lot of ships around the station.
I'm aware.
Okay.
I have. I present the specific. Because we're able to get the transponder signal off of that shuttle, but there's like a description and like a
I mean, you'd be able to
rundown
get the basically, you could figure it out by the warp signature.
Yeah, the warp signature.
Yes,
That's what I'm looking for. Yes.
Sorry, I misspoke.
I hand off the warp
That was
signature.
my fault.
It would have this warp signature specifically.
It's a little bit unusual, so it might actually ping.
Really?
It was slightly damaged. But,
Would have been a human, Benzite, and Andorian on board.
Sure, I can tell that from a warp signature, can't I?
Well, just
Yeah, there was a warp signature that came in a few days back, about 4 days ago.
did they stop you or just pass by?
Oh, jeez, Starfleet. Okay, let's see. So we had at least one person beam over.
Any data?
You want to know about
course I
this?
do.
Of course, yeah. Okay, all right, yeah.
Did you see the badge?
Yeah, you're
I'm
Starfleet,
Starfleet,
right?
so of course I want to know
Of course
more.
you want to know. Starfleet always wants to know more.
Yes, we
about
always
these
want to know
things.
more.
All right, let's
For-
see.
for-
it's
a bit of
probably a
context,
human,
we-
a Benzite, or an Andorian.
Really?
Yeah.
If it wasn't, that's actually a very useful bit of information. But for a bit of context, sir, we are actually investigating the quake that occurred a few weeks ago, and
Oh,
these are people of interest.
Oh, these are people of interest in the quake.
Yeah.
I mean, just say so. All right. Andorian beamed over.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then being back out, I assume.
Yeah, not too long after, but beamed over.
same day?
Same day.
Did he have anything to eat?
Oh my god.
It's an inside joke.
Haha.
Is he actually face palms in character?
Was the
You're someone who
Andorian
impressed him.
picked up on any cameras, sensors.
I'm sure he was. Here, all right.
Yes,
I see where this is going. I see where this is going. All right, all right.
I pointed
all
at
right.
the badge again.
Starfleet, I get it.
Person of interest.
Person of interest, Starfleet, Quake.
Quake.
What's the name of our contact with the Klingons? Was General what now?
Torg.
Do we want to drop his name maybe?
No, this is fine. This is all going well.
Okay, all right. Just
This is going great.
It's going great.
It's actually we're getting everything we need.
All right. Here we go. Yep, there he is. Andorian. Swings it around.
Yep.
There. Andorian.
Is he doing anything even a little
Walking
bit
down the hall.
interesting? Walking.
All right, let's track him. Here we go. Walking down the hall. This is a person of interest.
Well, I didn't say he was interesting. I said he was a person of interest.
Oh, I don't know. This seems pretty interesting to me.
What's he doing?
He's dancing.
Actually dancing?
He's dancing. He just stopped in the middle and started dancing. Not very well either. Not that Andorians could ever dance. Nothing personal.
Is there
No,
music?
we're
or
really
is he
not
just
good dancers. Just
He's
in the
just-
middle of everything.
Just dancing.
to know music?
I don't really think we generally throw music through the promenade.
breadcrumbs.
What? We don't throw breadcrumbs in
No,
the promenade.
sorry. This is another.
How long does he dance?
I don't know. 5 minutes. He's getting some odd looks.
All right.
Oh, security just came over to say, what's he doing? He stops dancing. He turned around, went back to the transporter room and left.
Same as
Person of interest, a really threatening guy.
Fascinating.
you want her to be seen.
Well, the thing is, it's not so much that he's threatening, it's just that he knows something.
Oh,
And we need to find him to find
Oh.
out what he knows.
And apparently, he
doesn't know
wants
how to
us.
dance. Klingon humor.
Very good.
It's a good joke. I like it.
That was good.
Ha. You didn't laugh. It's not good for her.
Oh, I'm just very confused. I'm still hung up on the dancing thing. I'm sorry.
Oh, I can watch it again and repeat.
Actually, could we get a clip of that?
Oh, it might be even funnier
For-
if it's sped up.
Speed it up. Andorian.
Oh, what if you said it to the Konduch aria from?
Kanduk. Fast Andorian dancing to so good. Yes. Are we done here?
Yes, we are. Thank you.
Unless you saw anything else strange happen around the station around that same time.
Is this not strange enough?
Anything else strange?
Any security reports around that time? Anything going missing afterwards? Anything significant, I should say.
Strange signals, data flow, communications.
No.
Did they leave immediately after he transported back aboard?
The
The runabout.
the runabout. Yes.
Or did it linger?
Left.
What direction?
The Expanse, as expected.
All right. That was
Right,
4 days
problems.
ago.
Yes.
They want us to follow them.
I guess so.
I thank you.
Yes.
All right, let's go.
As you're leaving, you hear in the background. Fast Andorian dancer. Andorians. and leaves.
I can't quite fathom why these criminals would want us to follow them, or want anyone to follow them.
Because
I've
we're the least bad option.
I've been questioning since the beginning if they're criminals.
Well,
Especially now that we know that the quake was part of a separate project. It has seemed this entire time as though someone wanted us to follow a trail.
so they're running.
They're running from someone and hoping we'll catch them first,
Well,
I think so.
or just hoping, or they're running towards something that they want to be found.
Either way, they're leaving giant
Obvious.
arrows pointing. We want to find them.
Also,
we know that the
frankly-
ship has gone in the way. This isn't misdirection.
No.
And the fact that the Romulans haven't gotten out ahead of us on this is confusing, really.
Do you think it's possible that I've been operating under the assumption for a while now that this crew was put together with specific individuals with specific personalities in order to fail? But what if
I'm not sure,
Well,
because...
what if, just allow me to finish. What if we were put together because we're the only people that Prescott knows to trust?
You have a very rare genetic component. My family is intertwined in this.
The Benzite knew where to go. It wasn't an act of vandalism. He was marking X on a map for where we needed to go in a place only you could activate the technology.
This Andorian we're following was my daughter's brother-in-law. Believed to be dead. It's an extremely close hidden coincidence. Our families are not large.
Was this really a rescue mission?
It may well be.
I
If it
think
wasn't
so.
before, I think it may have become
It
one.
was proposed to us by Grosich as a rescue mission.
He may have been sending us out as a stalking horse of sorts.
I think he fully
Finding them
expects
down.
us to find them. It's just a question of what he's into and what role they're...
Or Davis, or anyone else?
I mean, Grosich is the one that seems to have information. Davis, at least on surface, appears to be very much in the dark.
Which is how someone with a great deal of information would want to appear in such a situation. as
True.
this. Not to seem too contrary.
Have you heard from Grosich?
No, I sent them our disinfo packets, but I haven't spoken with either of them.
Because the last time you spoke to Grosich was when the captain died,
Yes.
and he has not checked in since then.
No, he's rather sporadic.
I haven't heard from either of them. Have we heard anything from the others we're waiting to hear from?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Nothing's pinged on that signal, right?
Oh, the subspace signal?
Yeah. And then you haven't spoken directly with the general.
No, I've been sending updates. They're a bit more sparse than what I'm sending the admirals, but I'm making sure to keep them in the loop. Because I've mentioned that a few times, Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that hasn't stopped just because I haven't mentioned it in maybe the last two games. I'm still...
No, that's
I think
fine.
you
That's
did
fine.
mention it in
By the
one
way,
of those.
while we're on that, you were going to feed some info to the Romulans via Slethis that I don't think ever actually happened. We can say that happened off camera. if we-
Yeah.
We
I think we were.
got it. We got the edited message from him. Gave it to Morganth to then send off.
Okay.
The plan was to send it around the same time that we sent the communication
Right.
to
Right.
Admirals.
Okay.
So,
All right. That's good.
So
Okay.
it's been done,
Okay. Fair enough.
as helpful as that is. All right.
so I think everyone's laying low to see what we do next.
And I guess we just continue looking.
Yes.
Traffic's gonna get real thin out here.
Yes. It's one of the... it's a benefit, to a certain extent. Being so far out allows us some leeway we wouldn't normally have.
It's a shot in the dark, but can we try scanning for that warp signature? 4 days old, we might still be able to catch it.
Well,
Maybe?
let's contact the bridge. See what they find out, Mike.
Okay. Contacting the bridge. Let's use on bridge right now. Here, let's actually see who's on the bridge right now.
Be Morgan.
Storell is actually
Okay,
on the
Morgan
bridge.
is off duty.
Yes, Captain.
Hello, Sorrel. How are things on the ship?
Things are going fine, Captain.
Excellent. Could you please do a scan for the warp signature that was on the runabout that we're in pursuit of?
Of course, Captain.
There's a ship assist on that, yeah?
There is a ship assist on that. Ship assist.
I'm the ship.
You're the
I'm
ship.
the ship.
You're the ship.
I'm the captain, 'cause I'm
Let's
the
do
ship.
sensor and
That's
science.
the stupid shit.
Just out of curiosity, since I had to have collaboration science, is there any tips I could give him to? Well,
No.
4. That's a success. We call it a success in this world.
In fact, what is the... It's sensors and science?
Sensors and
Oh,
science.
never mind.
2 successes then, but you're already full. Captain, I'm afraid I'm not reading any of that signature anywhere nearby.
I didn't expect it to be, but we wanted to give it a shot.
Worth a shot.
We do have a heading from the security officer,
It's true.
but there's no telling once they enter the expanse where they may have.
Well, we're still a bit away from the expanse itself, too. I guess
Storell,
not very.
run a diagnostic on the ship.
Captain?
We're about to go into deep space with, and this will be our last stop. And I'd like to ensure that the ship is in running order before we leave.
Yes, Captain. Deep diagnostic. It will take several hours.
Are your communications with Starfleet logged? Like, are they in the ship's computers to be reviewed and rewatched, should you so please?
It depends. Not all communications are available. Some are classified. Some are personal.
I'm just wondering if there's any chance. So, we are thinking that one of these admirals might perhaps be working with the Romans. Is that correct, or something to that degree?
Yes.
I'm just wondering. It's quite a long shot. But something I was thinking is when their message comes in on specific frequency, if by some small chance they had got a ping from that subspace frequency while they were transmitting, I'm wondering if there could be some kind of trace of that signature in the received frequency.
As if it was disrupting the signal.
Yes, again,
Our own signals.
only if by chance, again, they were contacted while they were transmitting their message to you. It's a needle in a haystack, but it's something that occurred to me.
Well, we could review the frequencies without anyone viewing the contents.
Exactly. I don't need to actually see the contents of the message itself, just to see if that specific subspace frequency interference was mixed in with the broadcast.
It's just good thinking. Why don't you transport back to the ship and begin your investigation?
Yes, Captain.
Heading back to the transporter room, transport back to the ship. What are you 3 doing?
First, I want to just contact Delaran and get just the engineering teams to do just a full systems check to go along with that sensor suite, or to go with that system diagnostic, for the same reasons. Secondly, when he said they were headed towards the Shackleton Expanse is kind of half the sky at Nerendra. So did he give us a cardinal direction?
He didn't.
He just said toward the Shackleton
He
Expanse.
said toward the Shackleton Expanse.
Can we go back and get a specific heading from him?
Then I need to
we
go.
go back
Then I
and
need to go back and speak to him.
We can probably just get it from a computer, right?
Or you can ask. Either way.
We don't have that data because it's from the station's data.
Oh,
I just
okay.
need to go.
You take
ask
care of
one
it.
more question.
Yeah, feel free.
I'll back her up.
Alright.
Yeah.
I'll stand out here.
Excuse me, sir. One more question.
Really?
When you said that the shuttle was
Hold
headed-
on, wait. Pause.
When you said that the shuttle was headed for the Shackleton Expanse, the Shackleton Expanse is kind of a lot of directions from here.
Yes, it's large.
What specific direction was it going in?
Can we get a specific heading if you happen to?
All right. Let's see.
There's a lot of expanse.
There is a lot of expanse. That's why they call it an expanse. If it wasn't an expanse, they would call it
contract.
the small room or something.
The tiny ship room, perhaps?
The tiny ship room, I hear a rumor of that being a thing. All right, warp signature, tracking warp signature, sensors. Okay. Yep, you're looking at Cardinal. If we go with the base Cardinal, we're going to be looking at bearing 30.
So that's just straight into the middle of nothing. So not towards Amargosa.
Nope.
All right, just right into it.
Straight into the middle.
Pretty much draw a line from Starbase 105 to here and straight through.
It looks like yep.
Neat. Thank you.
You're very welcome. You done?
I think so. I'll let you know.
Can I
if
say
you-
it one more time?
Yeah, absolutely. Fast dancing Andorian.
Oh, so good.
Does she dance?
Not often, but she cooks really well.
Not as humorous.
No. You don't dance, do you?
Not really, no.
Okay.
Andorians don't generally.
You can take this outside of the office, really.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, thank you. I'm busy.
Just like I said.
So that wasn't like a traditional.
My child's brother-in-law.
Yes, but
Just
that wasn't like a traditional
the laughing is a
Andorian
little-
folk dance.
The laughing is a little.
He did a silly
Troublesome.
dance.
This hallway, you all missed it. It was fantastic. Now it's boring again. Why you were in there so I can't even describe it.
Oh, Captain!
It was like staring into an angel's tears the whole time, and now it's just a regular hallway again. I had a great time out here, I'll tell you what. That's a joke we need.
I don't know what just happened.
Captain, are you feeling all right? Do we need to check on you?
I'm fine now. It was a very boring hallway. I'm just lying.
Did you hear anything?
No.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, just people talking. There's some Klingons muttering under the breath.
That is
Anyway.
what Klingons mutter.
Should we
Oh, I didn't get him any food.
get who any food?
I was going
Oh.
to. We can grab some to go.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look at the promenade. We have plenty of time.
Yeah, let's take a
before
look at the place where he danced.
And also, I assume that's where they sell food.
Sure, you'll
Yeah.
find people selling food out
Yeah, let's
There-
go to the promenade.
There's actually a bar called the Wasted Space.
All
That's
right.
amazing.
Well,
Some things are canon in this universe. Let's go to the promenade.
yeah, let's do
All
it.
right, you're there. You're on the promenade. There are people milling about. There are people selling goods. There are people just hanging out. There are people eating, drinking, doing work, being so.
Well, let's look for some cool food.
Just first, I'm gonna go find the spot where he was, like, figured out based on the video, and just kind of take a quick look around.
Yeah, you pretty easily find the spot.
This is just in the middle of absolutely everything, right? There's nothing particularly interesting to look at.
Just kind of there. Yeah. You're just
Alright.
sitting there.
All right, from that spot, I'm going to see which food vendor looks the most appetizing.
There's a Klingon over there throwing some stuff together that smells pretty amazing.
Gah.
Fresh gach.
I head over there, and I get 2 portions to go.
For a small Andorian?
One's for me, one's for a friend.
Ah. Gah.
Thank you.
Don't eat too much, Andorian. Tiny stomachs.
Let me get a
Our
bowl
metabolism is
of,
very high, sir.
The red stuff. The moving red stuff.
Ah, yes. And?
Let's see. The krolach.
Good choice.
And let me get a side of bech.
Spicy. Bajoran?
Bajoran.
Can you handle Beck Bajoran?
Have you ever had a really good Hasperat?
He can handle it.
We'll see, Bajoran.
If you
Thank you.
if you ever happen upon any of the security personnel from General Torg's ship, ask them about the Bajoran.
Right.
They'll know who you're talking about.
The Bajoran. Noted, Andorian. Andorian's funny.
There's a video in the security office you should check out when you're off shift, if you know the security office.
I do.
Okay, yeah.
Family.
Will do.
It's funny, I can't help that.
Could you not just right in front of me?
Sorry.
I'm sorry. It's just,
I honestly didn't. I thought you were just doing.
no,
I'm sorry.
It's alright. It's alright. I don't usually pull the family card because I don't normally talk about my family. Let's go. Captain, what next?
I'm gonna swing by the bar also. So, do they have
Mostly-
any bottles of blood wine for sale? Or
Of course.
okay, then yeah, I'm gonna buy a couple of those.
Hid the wasted space, and they do have blood wine.
Is there anything that
Beverage.
you or the ship requires before we continue on? That we would.
Is there anything we should...
We doing okay
Restock?
on medical supplies, or
I think we're super stocked up. We just left the station to come to us.
Yeah, I mean, y'all are probably fine.
Yeah.
We can assume that there's been a
we're
level of
investigating at that station? So
restocking going on.
I mean, aside from the diagnostics, we're good to go, and we could
Yeah.
conceivably continue doing the diagnostics on the way there.
It's true. I'm gonna pick up some non-alcoholic drinks just to shake things up a little bit.
Oh wow, different. Yeah,
Have
sure.
those on a Klingon station?
I'm sure.
The blood milkshakes.
Well, it's,
we were talking
it's also
about.
partly Starfleet. So,
It's a joint operation.
so you know some space pop, space pop.
Space pop.
Space pop.
Yeah, that's what they call it, right? Pop,
Space
Yeah.
pop.
space soda, space pop.
Well,
Same
only in
thing?
the northern sector of space. Down in the
Southern,
it's Space Coke. If you get down south.
Sure.
Everything's spice coke down here.
You're able to get some.
Okay, cool.
Not a problem.
All right, great. And then we'll go back to the ship.
And, all right, you're back on the ship. Diagnostics are running. You're back on the ship. You're going to do some research
Right.
on the whatchamacallits
Any transmissions from Gossage or what's his base?
to see if that
Yeah,
subspace
Davis.
was why don't you do a reason and science check?
Oh yeah, I will.
Difficulty of let's make it a 1.
Got ship assist?
Yeah, we'll do a ship assist.
Let's just use momentum because we're so full of them.
Yeah, you're full of momentum. Let's do a ship assist of sensors and security. No, let's do
Computers?
Let's do computers and security.
Okay, good. That's less. I'll have a harder time getting it. I got it.
3 successes.
Yeah,
What did you
Load
get?
it up.
I got an 8.
Okay.
Load it up. There
Okay.
you go.
Our
we
security
actually
is
sent
high enough, we
one.
might actually get the extra.
Yeah.
So you're looking at all of the transmissions from Grossich and Davis both, and you don't see any type of subspace piggybacking on anything.
I knew it was,
That's a good.
I knew it was a
good
needle in a
idea, though.
haystack.
Good idea, though.
Was the sensor sweep that we ran looking for the warp trail before just local, or was it also, was it to the maximum of our sensor range?
Long range sensors.
I mean, it was pretty local. It wasn't anything super long range.
All right, I would like to do one more long range in that specific direction.
Looking for that warp signature.
Yeah.
Okay.
Suddenly veer off. Or anything.
Or see if they're just right there, y'all. We can totally catch them in 2 minutes.
Let's do a reason and science check. Or actually, hold on. Let's do something a little different here.
I'm going to look out a window and see if I see.
Now let's do reason and science. Ship assist sensor and science.
Am I around or am I off
Reason and science.
Failed.
You'll be around, sure.
Because what's your science, Cindy? What is your science?
It's 3.
Because I can use my science collaboration to make it 4 for you.
He's got a talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can be like, actually, if you just tune that
actually,
little
Oh
thing
god,
up,
he's one of those guys. Actually,
Did you just hearthsplay?
Okay.
The talent is called
Reason and science
actually.
difficulty.
reason and science difficulty
Should be.
long range. Let's go difficulty 2.
Okay, I want to burn a momentum.
Okay. Burn them.
Burn them.
burn 'em.
Bo burn 'em.
Oy. That's 2.
Hey, well, you got it. You don't see any of the warp signature at long range. Your long range sensors are able to get kind of just to the edge of the expanse. You don't actually see that signature.
Perchance, do I see anything remotely unexpected if we burn a momentum?
Momentum.
You notice something a little odd. Looking at the makeup of the expanse itself, there's a lot of stellar phenomenon within the expanse itself.
Stellar.
You do notice approximately where, if you were to extrapolate the course of the runabout, you do notice that as it reached to a point where it would have entered the expanse, you do notice a slight shift in the makeup. It almost appears as if there was some kind of reaction that happened right around that point.
It would be hilarious if he's looked at the window and were like, there's a shuttle.
Yeah. That's why I was like, you know what? As long as we're here,
That's it. Right?
I can't really do much else.
What's the nature of the change? Burn another momentum.
Okay.
What you could say, because you have a focus in warp field, correct?
Warp technology.
Warp
yeah.
technology, yes. It's almost as if the anomaly you've seen in the warp field that you've been tracking, that anomaly is actually seeming to have some kind of effect with some of the matter within the expanse itself and causing a reaction.
So hopefully that means we'll be able to track them much easier in the expanse by following a little trail
Possibly.
Of breadcrumbs?
Yeah.
from the sandwich.
I mean,
they
we've
ate.
been tracking that weird warp signature this whole time. I had assumed that it was because they were doing something intentional to their warp fields, but maybe it was just a trailing device. Well-
One way to find out.
Could be.
Either way, we can move a lot faster than they can.
It's true.
And that's a pretty good sign that they're still going, or at least they were at the time of the entry to the Shackleton Expanse, going pretty much straight on that line.
Well, let's set that heading.
All right.
Looking at the map here real quick, I'll give me half a second here.
Go after that anomaly. Because as we all know,
Anomalies are cool.
anomalies happen! Come on!
I jumped right in front of it.
Let me sell some shirts!
Come on, no, don't sell any shirts, no. That's what
Anomalies are cool shirts. You can find them everywhere.
That's our next wave.
Okay. You set a course for the expanse approximately in the direction that you can estimate the runabout went. Head that direction. As you get closer, the scans are still going. You do see those disturbances within the expanse itself, but it is very sporadic. It's not as if it's like a straight line. It does take a little bit of digging to find them.
Okay.
So, like, the trail is...
It's not like a line. It's like, here's a blip, here's a blip, here's a blip.
Is it maybe like they're having to navigate around hazards within the expanse, which would be totally expected behavior?
Everybody navigates around hazards in the expanse. Yeah. So...
So it's almost
Follow
like
the
instead of
blips.
whatever this thing is, it's not like just constantly farting out this anomaly. It's more like
More like they're dropping things for us to...
Or it might even, it's hard to say. I mean, well, hey, how about we do a little check there, science officer?
Yeah, science
Let's
man.
do a insight and science check.
inside the science.
Computer assist with sensors and science. Difficulty 2.
Let's buy me a die there just because, again,
Yeah, why not?
let's use this stuff, man.
Hey, ship
Are you
assist.
gonna ship
Yeah,
assist?
I'll do it. What are we doing?
Sensors and science.
Oop, that wasn't a roll.
Hey!
2 successes.
I mean, I did it. I just wanted to see if I got under it, but I didn't.
Okay,
Okay.
so 3 successes.
No, our
So
science is only one.
Get yourself one more momentum. There you go.
Can only hit on a one.
It's actually what you're noticing looking at the readings. It's actually more related to the density of certain materials within the expanse. So when they go through an area that is more dense with certain materials, it does seem that the variations in the warp field is causing some type of reaction.
Can we determine what those materials are?
Sure, you can spin that and figure it out.
Let's do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
Good question.
We're just gonna say sciencey materials, but you do know essentially what those materials are. I don't want to get deep in the weeds on that.
Scrapatinium.
Yes.
Anytime it encounters scrapatinium, it leaves a trace.
It's dolomite.
Okay. So you're heading into the expanse. I'm assuming you're gonna want to try to follow this stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Assume correctly.
No.
No,
We're gonna go.
we're going home.
Yeah. Well, that was worth the trip.
What I'd like to know is when we get out of long range sensor from the
From the base.
base. Yes.
Okay. A few hours into it, you're able to get out of their long range sensor.
Should we try another long range sensor ourselves? Long range sensor check to see if we pick them up now?
Yeah. I mean, I think we're doing sensor suits in general.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing it in general. It's a meandering thug.
Okay.
thing
Are we
in the-
Are we doing a continuous long range?
Yeah, yeah. We'll
Okay.
just say that you're keeping that.
So we
suit
just
going.
haven't caught up
That's
yet.
kind of your
Calibrated to take into account any
No,
disturbances of
oh
the
my God, we
experience.
got to calibrate.
You said we didn't get the heading from the guard. I would have thought that was.
No. The sensors are kind of being a guide. They're lights that are pointing you in a direction and
Okay.
kind of associate with them. Still kind of slow going. The expanse is not the easiest thing to navigate through, so it is kind of slow going in there. But you're able to at least start to figure out where to go.
Cool. Mark, would this be a good time to do the thing?
Sure.
Or
Yeah,
is it
let's
too
do the
early?
thing. No, let's do the thing.
All right, let's go do the thing.
Let's do the
All
thing.
right,
The thing?
I call the command staff into the ready room,
Okay.
including the command staff that's not here.
Including Tashek and Morgath.
Exactly.
Okay.
Did you guys plan a little thing?
A little bit, yeah.
Never.
Yeah, we planned a little thing.
Never.
Surprise party?
You got a nibble of it earlier too.
Ooh.
So once everybody's seated, we are in the midst of our mission to pursue Jennifer Prescott and her associates, and to either rescue them or bring them to justice, whichever it is that needs to be done. However, there is a situation on this ship which is untenable, and I think we can all agree that if we are to continue our mission, with everyone on the ship being safe from interference or sabotage, something needs to be done, and it has to be something drastic. We are now in the frontier, if you will, beyond the grasp of Starfleet, the Romulan Empire, the Klingons, or anyone else who would say what we can or cannot do. We have to find a way to resolve the Celethis dilemma. And I believe the only way to do this, in a way that will give resolution for us and for Celethis, is to undertake a mission off the books. A secret mission.
To
The Romulan Empire. I know there are difficulties.
difficulties, yes, difficulties. Yes, sir.
But I know, given the skills of everyone here, especially our first officer, and the insight that Tashek and Celethis give us, this is not the first mission within Romulan space that's been attempted. And it will not be the only one that is successful. I know I'm asking you to take a big risk. but I know it can be done. You have one of the most impressive, dedicated, and knowledgeable espionage and security officers that may have ever existed within Starfleet. And under Morgant's guidance, I believe you will find a resolution for Selethis, whether that means finding his family, returning him to his body, allowing them all to escape, whatever the solution is, I know you will find it. And if you don't, I know you will at least return to the ship safely.
So you won't be... You'll be staying here with the ship.
Yes.
And we'll be on a shuttle?
The runabout.
Our runabout.
Which I have modified to allow for the transponder signal to appear as any number of items which may allow you, under anything less than close scrutiny, access within the Romulan Empire.
Close scrutiny, yes, because the Romulans are not one of the most... yes. Okay.
Do we have a cloak?
No.
No, why would we have a cloak?
Well,
It'd be nice.
I didn't know that we had a modulating transponder. It was...
Well, I mean, that's just a matter of... That's
finding-
changing out the license plate. That can be done easily.
So how hard would it be to have a cloak?
Hard.
That's much more difficult.
Okay, I'm just...
Making a ship just
The
essentially
Federation has
disappears.
been developing license plate technology for a very long time. The Federation has been explicitly not developing cloak technology for a
Right.
very long time.
But we are going to be trying to pass through Romulan space as a Romulan ship. And Romulan ships have cloaks.
But we don't.
How do we get one?
Well, maybe while you're there.
Oh, we could just find a Romulan ship and just hijack it
I mean,
while we're there in Romulan space.
I understand you're...
Just how off the books is this, sir?
As far as I can get it off the books. Which is why I need to stay on the ship.
So you're the top of this chain? Buck stops with you?
In this case, yes.
Okay.
So far off the books, we're not even in the library.
Is there any way to...
Yeah, I guess. I guess.
Is there any way to mirror or mimic a cloak signature?
Well, I mean, a cloak signature is a lack of a signature.
So that should be pretty easy then, right?
Well, that's everything else in space. No, it's not easy.
The easiest way to... No, it's very easy. We just don't go, and then we perfectly mirror a cloak signature. What are we supposed to just... We just go find... Shall we find the daughter that's on border patrol first? Or do we find the son who's... Where was the son? The son was...
This is what I was afraid
the
of,
son
Mark.
was-
I don't want to get into this.
And
I really
then-
don't.
Tashek is asking permission because Selethis would like to speak.
Sure.
Tashek gives Selethis control. Says, Commander,
You got any good ideas?
I have many good ideas. First of all, Captain, you have my deepest thanks and consideration for even considering this option. Second, Senator Morrell's made mistakes. He did not believe that there was anything that could be done to him, and in his hubris, he gave me too much information. He has clearly sent pictures of himself with my son in areas that I know the exact location on Romulus. He also...
On Romulus. Okay.
On Romulus. He also sent information about the ship deployments that my
Okay.
daughter was on. Within those ship deployments, knowing their positions and knowing their rotations, I know where she will be.
Okay.
And, Captain, with your permission, my time in the Senate was not without some benefits as to ways in and out of Romulan space. Your transponders are a brilliant idea, may need some adjustment in order to avoid detection.
Well, as this mission is to all of our benefits, we can make the changes.
Just tell me what to do.
I will send you the values that you will need,
Right?
and I would also like to send a potential course. Knowing where those patrols are headed right now, you will be able to avoid them.
Right.
We can make that work.
Okay.
If we all work together, we will be able to get to Romulus.
Right. We've got a Romulan spy and a Federation spy. We'll be fine. It's fine. We'll be fine.
Permission to speak freely to the lieutenant's occupant?
Do you have a name?
I didn't know if it would be disrespectful to refer to you by your name, and I'm trying to... Permission to speak to Slethus, Captain.
Yes, but obviously,
Yes. If this mission is taking place, I need to be a part of it. If we're able to find the technology that put you in her body, if we have any chance of putting you into yours or another, I'm still your best bet. And if any of them are harmed, it's my duty to take care of them. But if we're going to do this, as you say, together with all our skills and talents, I'm going to need you to trust me.
I can say the same for you, Chief.
How can I show such trust?
In me?
I'm uncertain of what skills are available to check in between your phases. Is she capable of a mind meld while you are the dominant persona?
It would be challenging.
Could Morgan's abilities assist?
Possibly.
I want to show you a measure of trust and a measure of faith. So I'm willing to open my thoughts to you.
if I may interject, perhaps a handshake?
I mean, I'm willing to do that too. I didn't know if that would be enough.
It
our
seems like a
guests.
good start before mind melding.
Well, you know me, I always swing big.
You do.
The lieutenant's brain is already under quite a bit of stress.
What do you require of me?
Chief, nothing means more to me than my family.
I understand that.
You'll find that with most Romulans. Nothing means more to us than our families.
So can we count on your family feeling the same way?
With this face, I don't know. But we can do our best. Captain, I will take your suggestion. Let's start with a handshake and an understanding that I love my family. And I need your help to save them. Hold out his hand.
I'll do everything in my power and my considerable talents to bring them to you safely and see you reunited. I swear by the prophets.
We'll consider that a start.
This is the reason I thought I was joining Starfleet.
There you go.
Captain, with your permission, I would like to work on the transponders on the runabout.
Yes, please.
Is he?
I'm assuming that if we are going into Romulan space, we will need to resemble Romulans.
Yes, I've already been working on that. I've got I've got disguises prepared. I would like them to be looked over by Celestis.
Of course.
There are some standard surgical alterations I can make that will even more convincingly.
Temporary.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, I know.
They're pretty standard issue in the.
I was hoping you'd take on that responsibility.
I'll prepare the procedures for all participants.
And I'll leave more of the planning and execution to First Officer Morganth.
Of course.
I would like to consult with Commander Morganth as well. Some of my experience with the patrol routes along the border could come in handy, as well as the information I have with those ship positions.
And just so we're clear on my piece, is we will continue to pursue Jennifer Prescott when we are within long-distance sensor range. We will hold course and wait for you to return before closing.
Thank you, sir.
Because I'm going to need you all there with me when that happens as well.
Yeah.
Slithis, out of curiosity, as I'm preparing the procedure for Tashek herself, are there any identifying marks your family would know you by? A birthmark, a tattoo, something that I could maybe put on her to indicate?
As much as I wish there was, Chief, I have to say that no.
I thought it might be a long shot, but short of tattooing your name across her back, I don't think there are any good options there. So
We have one thing no one else does, and that is our family history, and I hope that will be enough.
I hope so too.
Is this the procedure that was done to you? Is that a known for Romulans? Is it a suspected thing? Is it common?
No, sir, this is not something that I was aware of. And my understanding, while there was still experimental.
I see. Just wanted to ensure that it wasn't as simple as, look what happened, it happens all the time.
No,
I see.
this would not be a normal occurrence.
Difficult to convince them then, but as you say, the family history, the lineage, which I understand to a certain extent, although I know it's much more complicated for Romulans than it is for the people of my clan. I do understand the value of it.
Do you know what they were told about what happened to you?
I do not. I saw my wife mourning once, so I assume.
They think you're dead.
Do we have any way of tracking down or locating the technology or the practitioner who...
That I am not aware of. The only person that I know of who would be aware of it would be the doctors that performed it or Senator Morrell.
Okay. We may have to do some investigating beyond just hunting down his family if we want to.
I would be more than happy to hunt down Senator Morrell. For what it's worth, Captain.
Even if we could just get some leads on the technology, perhaps between Izzy and I, if we just had a path to even start following, would give us something more to work with.
If we were able to track down any of those doctors, I'd like to have more than a few words with them. We could probably get some schematics if necessary, if we can't find the hardware itself.
Captain, these are details. We are days away from Romulan space. We can discuss those en route. I would like to begin work on the transponders
Yes.
with Commander Zodiac.
Yes. Don't suppose you know anything about creating a cloaking device?
No.
Worth a shot.
Using one? Yes, it's like this.
Switch and it works. Developing one? No.
All right.
let me
Well,
get
let's
a
go work
5-minute
on that
cloak build.
transponder then.
Captain, thank you again. With your leave.
Yes.
And Slethis leaves with Izzy. Anything else?
I'm heading to the sick bay to start preparing surgical procedures.
I'm gonna go in the. After everybody leaves the ready room, I'm gonna have a drink because this is hard. Being in charge is hard.
Being in charge is hard. Sending 4 people into Romulan space. Hey! Anything from you?
Would you mind if I had a word with Slethis? I mean, you're welcome to sit in if you like, and it's not going to be anything controversial or...
You can join them at the runabout if you wish to engage in dialogue.
I mean, he knows that there's no happy ending to this mission, yes? In a way, I mean, there's...
Well, the outcome as you proposed it isn't happy. And it's the outcome I would most want, and the one I believe we should work towards, is the one that involves justice. But I don't know.
Basically, I want, if we're all going to be working together, I feel it's important for us to all be on the same page and open with expectations and what, no deception within this team, if you know what I'm saying. There's no success to be had if from the get-go we're going to be deceiving each other and holding back and keeping secrets.
I understand. I believe that Slethis is not deluding himself when he says my family is the most important thing to me. I believe it, which means that everything else is secondary, including his own life or his own comfort. It's possible that even the extraction, if we can do such a thing for Tashek, will destroy Slethis. There may be no body to return to.
We don't know.
There's too many unknowns.
Indeed.
But I believe Slethis understands that if in a different body he returns to the ship, then he will face justice. I've said it in front of him enough times. He must know it. And you can discuss it with him if you wish.
Thank you, sir.
You gonna go down the shuttle bay?
I would like to speak.
Okay, you head down to the shuttle bay and you see him already at work with Izzy, giving her numbers and values to put into that transponder. There's an engineering team working as well. They're all there.
Slethis, I know you're very busy. May I have a few moments of your time?
Commander? Yes.
I don't know if we've been formally introduced. I'm Stian Rald of the Hearth. I've recently, honorarily, joined Starfleet. Not even officially, I don't believe. And I wanted to speak to you, not as Starfleet prisoner or human to Romulan or anything other than one being to another being.
Feel free.
is my intent. Obviously, we don't know where this mission is going to go. Your family are innocent in all of this, which is part of what has been weighing on me the most. Of course, there are those who absolutely are going to insist on some kind of justice for the crimes you've committed. I'm sure you know this.
Of course.
I just want you to know it's my intent to petition my homeworld of Hearth to have you and your family held there, as hopefully in secret, where you can't be sought out by enemies who would want you and your family killed. Well, you held there. I'm hoping, obviously, that if it's up to me, your family would live free to visit you.
I'm not sure Starfleet would agree with that, but
Well, that is one of the many reasons that this is not an official Starfleet mission.
understood.
When I was a child, there was a science competition. Knowing that my people were very xenophobic, feared outsiders, I constantly heard debates of the best ways of dealing with enemies, of dealing with foreigners in general. What do you do if you're attacked? Do you retaliate an eye for an eye? Do you preemptively strike so that you get them before they can get you? So many opinions on how to deal with differing cultures, differing beliefs. So I decided to model a computer program. Several. It would pit two sides against one another in differing strategies. One side would only strike if struck. One particular opponent I programmed would always strike first. One would strike no matter what, whether you struck or did not strike. And in the end, the side that always came out on top in the end was the side that would eventually break the chain. 9 times out of 10, they would strike when struck and not strike if not struck. But 1 time out of 10, they would not strike back if struck. And that always proved to be the turning point in the tide. So many races I've seen in my very limited time and space have practically genetic hatred for each other, with so many generations having been killed by the other side. I'm lucky, very lucky, to not have those feelings towards anyone. I try to judge everyone as an individual. Now, of course, there's no perfect solution. If you decide not to strike back that one time, it may spark a fire, but it's not going to be a clean, easy road from then to the rest of time. My point is, I hope that this can be that spark. I see an opportunity here. And I speak to you again as someone, I'm not human. I'm not even officially Starfleet. There will be justice demanded for your actions. But I want that justice to be as righteous and just as possible, with as few unnecessary casualties as possible. And in my opinion, your death would only punish your family more than anyone else. Far more than it would punish you. So that is why it is my hope that maybe this can be the tiniest step. And perhaps your people's starting to look past the hatred and seeing what we all have in common across all races and species and beings. I see it in you. I see it. We are both individuals with families, with memories, with hopes, with dreams, with full lives beyond the other's comprehension. We are the same. Why there must be so much hatred and hostility between us all, I don't understand. And that could be my naivete, but quite frankly, it's something I hope I don't ever understand. I might be naive, but I feel for your family. Maybe that's a weakness in me, a weakness that could be exploited. And if it is, so be it. It's not a thing I want to change. I don't want to become hardened to that. My point is I want you to know where I am from. And that I believe we must all be completely open with each other, and that there will be penance to pay for what you've done. But I hope that we can find some way for that to have as little impact on your family's happiness as possible.
On Romulus, I would be executed.
Or worse. Which...
If my family can be spared the suffering of loss of caste, loss of stature, and loss of life on Hearth, then I thank you.
I suppose one of the most important variables here is what I alluded to earlier. As you have made clear, your family is more important than your loyalty to Romulus or anything else. If we are able to get in touch with your family, if we are able to convince them of the truth that you are alive and of this plan, you know them better than anyone. Do you think that they will cooperate with this plan? Because if not, then we are all doomed. We will be very vulnerable, and if any member of your family does not see fit to go along with this or values their loyalty to Romulus more than their love for their family, then all of us, including you and most likely your other family members, will die. So this all hinges on your family's love for you as well.
I can't speak to the lies spoken to them over the past 15 years. I can speak to the spark in my daughter's eye when I saw her in the morning. I can speak to the smile that she gave me when she went to bed at night. I can speak to the warmth when holding my wife. I can speak to the value our families play in Romulan society. While I don't know the lies told, even in this Vulcan body, I feel the love. And that's the only thing that has kept me going. I don't have the answer, but I feel the love.
Then that's enough for me. I will trust you. And while we're on this mission, and until it comes time for official actions, whatever those may be, for better, for worse, for naive, for vulnerability, if it makes me weak, if it makes me vulnerable, so be it. But I'm going to tell you outright and honestly right now that I'm going to trust you, and I'm going to view you as a team member on this, because Lord, we all know we can't do it without your cooperation.
Noted. Specialist. Holds out his hand. Team. Commander, I believe we have work to do.
Yes, we do.
Gets back to work. And on that, we're going to call it a night, everybody. Thanks for hanging out tonight. We do appreciate you. We're going to be back next week, and the super secret mission to infiltrate Romulan space begins.
What's going?
What could possibly go wrong?
To Romulus,
Nothing.
Romulus.
It's all gonna go fine.
It'll be fine.
It's gonna be a quick in and out.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's like going to get a burger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You just go in, you pull up, say, "Hey, can I have
Can I get a daughter, a wife, and a
daughter, wife,
son?
son in the military?"
A body back and
Body.
maybe some vengeance. Who knows?
We'll see. We'll see. It'll be fine.
Drop them off on Hearth, put them in a nice little cell. Bam, we're back on the Chair Prescott.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom. It's like getting a cheeseburger.
We're back before dinner.
We're getting out of here. Thanks for hanging out tonight, everybody. We'll see you next time. Remember, like, share, subscribe. Do all the stuff, all that cheesy stuff that you have to do, but do it because it's actually important. So do that. Thank you all for playing. Thank you all for being here.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week. Bear will not be here next week.
I won't be here for a while,
He won't be here for a while.
like a month.
Wow, just about enough time to go to Romulus.
Yeah, have an adventure. It's D&D adventure time, really.
Yeah.
I get to go on an adventure.
Yeah.
Instead of just flying around on a spaceship.
That's right. We actually do adventures. We'll see you back next week and see what happens to everything. Thanks for hanging out with us. Remember, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Good night, everybody. Where's my